What should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do?
What are my rights? What are my rights?
What are my rights?
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action.
A legal Morse of action.
It's Friday. You know what that means. A brand new episode of Legal Morse of Action. My name is Patricio. And as always, I did my best to not do the AKA part. But as always, I'm joined by Erin Morse. How you doing, Erin?
I am exactly as I should be.
It's Friday. What are your plans? How you gonna
Look at this lovely person.
Oh,
That's all. Make no more comments.
fair and valid. So what are your plans for this weekend? Because you got a hefty month.
I think I need to relax. What do I got? I don't know. Nothing. Everything. I don't know.
Nothing?
Everything.
Everything.
Who knows?
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Yeah. We have someone who might be trying to come into the office.
And hopefully they will get stopped.
No.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
Our doors are locked.
yeah. Anywho's, this week, we just finished a case management conference, and you brought a really, really great array of snacks for this.
I try to do something on case management days,
Hmm.
meeting days.
It does help with the meeting, like going a lot faster and more relaxed and stuff like that.
Yeah. We got stuff from the fresh market.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, snacks and
So we are so today is August the 5th. We are 15 days away, 2 weeks away from the the Kids and Family Expo at the Orange County Convention Center. We're gonna have a cool time over there. We're gonna have our photo booth running. Dee Dee's gonna be doing some face paintings. I'm gonna be doing some balloon animals, and we also have the fun kits that we're gonna be giving away.
the first aid kits.
Yeah. Let me fix this real quick. And
So that's gonna be really fun and funny.
and you're gonna
We haven't released what the first aid kits are because they have a little kitschy joke, and I think I'm very funny.
No, you are funny. You are funny. I don't care what anyone else says.
Funny for a girl.
No. With that being said, we got some questions lined up, ready to go, and I am going to start off with this one. Let's see. How does divorce work if my spouse may need long-term care with Medicaid, separated but never divorced? Do I have any options for protecting my savings in the event he needs to apply for Medicaid?
I actually think we answered this.
Was that from last week?
From last week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So for the viewers that are watching us today.
Anyway, if you get divorced, you'll protect your savings. But if you're still together, it will be considered as your family assets. So, there are Medicaid planning attorneys who do this, and there's Medicaid planning companies. So that is some considerable effort that you'll have to put into that to make sure that you protect it. I assume you'd put it into a trust and a couple of other things that you could possibly do that would assist you in being able to protect that.
Excellent. So hopefully that answer helps you out. Again, let's see. Next one coming up. Button, click. There we go. What is likely to happen at my third contempt of court hearing in which I am being charged with contempt? I was found guilty of 2 others for not allowing phone calls or providing discovery.
I have no idea. I would have to look at your whole ass docket, the court orders, what the motion for contempt said. What are you doing? Why are you being held in contempt for a third time? You can't get it right? Do you not understand your court orders? Do you... I want to yell at you. I wouldn't want to. I really wouldn't want to be your attorney going to this the third time that you have a motion for contempt being heard. No way. What the fuck? Respectfully.
And there goes the boost.
What are you doing? What kind of, lessons do we need to provide here? What do I do to make this better?
You see, I knew this question was gonna grind.
It does grind my gears. What the hell? Why?
But like,
So,
what kind of response would you expect from a client? I'm saying this like from a client to justify a third contempt against, because he just said they just said right here,
child abuse.
phone.
Say you knew your child was being physically abused by the other parent and you were held in contempt for not providing time sharing, but you knew it happened again. That's what I would probably understand, right? Because if I knew my child were being hurt, abused, physically abused by the other parent or someone, I'll be fucking damned if I'll be the one bringing them there.
Yeah.
You can take me to jail. Right? We're all going after you, right? And I got a pretty fierce mom who would also
So
join the fight.
So I feel like your proper response to this one would be what Jim Carrey does in Liar Liar.
Yeah. Quit breaking the law, asshole.
Thank you for picking up on that. Appreciate it. All right, next one
It's in
coming.
our handbook.
It is. It really is.
I quote Liar Liar in the handbook.
Next question coming up. My wife got pregnant while we were engaged. The father filed a petition for paternity in October 2021. Haven't heard anything from him or the courts till now. No default has been entered. Any advice?
Yeah, you need representation like a motherfucker.
Like, what could happen at that point? Because what we've talked about on previous episodes, a child born into an intact marriage, even if it's this.
The child, it doesn't sound to me like the child was born to an intact marriage. It says my wife got pregnant while we were engaged.
Oh, while we were engaged. Okay.
So I don't know when the child was born. So I'd have that question. I'd want to look at the docket and see what was going on. I would want to try and, make some moves and adjustments for that, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow. I completely forgot about the whole engaged part. So right there, it's basically
See?
Up for grabs.
That's why the attorney's here. We're good at picking out those little facts.
I will say this, working with you and working with attorneys for almost a good decade now, it's hearing certain things said by certain people. It's like, whoa. You just completely destroyed your entire story just with that little bit. Right there.
This one word, while we were engaged, because
Yeah.
it said my wife got pregnant and you went, oh, child born to an intact marriage. But I was like, but while they were engaged, see?
Mm-hmm.
The bar exam beats you up on that.
Next one coming up. Recently had to give our dog to my ex. However, I was unaware the dog was pregnant. Is there anything I could do to have one of the puppies? Aw.
That's your reaction. That's not my reaction.
Oh, I thought you were like making a sad face, like, oh, puppies.
No.
Well, okay. So
No, there's nothing you can do.
Damn.
Get over it. Can I have one of the puppies? Who are you gonna sue? What are you gonna do? What legal basis? No.
And I know you discussed this before, but like, what's the reason why he can't do anything on this one?
Because animals are considered property. So that's just like, say your wife got all of the household furniture and then she chopped it all up and made new furniture from it.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't be like, can I make her give me the bench she made from our bed frame?
One of the oddest. Okay, I'll take that one. Thank you.
Yeah, no. A dog is considered property.
Mm.
So, you fight for dogs' constitutional rights.
And a lot of people fight about, fight about over
Remember,
that.
we had the case where the dog was here.
Yeah.
They couldn't agree what would happen with the dog. We finally got him to an agreement, and they had such a contentious relationship with them that the only way that we could get settlement was to have the dog come stay at our office. The husband, our client, dropped the dog off. Kyle was teaching him tricks and taking him on walks so that the wife could then come here.
We've had a couple of dogs in this office. Next one coming up. My daughter came to live with us in 2012. I attempted having my child support obligations, and the mother refused to sign the paperwork. She signed in 2019, and I paid over $40,000. Is there anything I can do to get it back?
All right. So I have a lot of questions. My daughter came to live with us in 2012. Okay. That's when you should have filed. Thanks. I attempted to have my child support obligations
I guess like removed or
changed,
changed.
right? We got to add information in here.
Hmm.
And the mother refused to sign the paperwork. She signed in 2019. I paid over 40K. Is there anything I can do to have it back? There is something you could do. You could ask for it. There is a petition for modification that you could file about it, but it depends on what she signed and what resulted in her signing the agreement. If her signing the agreement said that that resolved all outstanding issues between the two of you, then no, you waived it. If she just signed, I agree, you don't have to pay me child support,
Hmm.
maybe I could do something. So I would need to see your paperwork, right? So not to be like this, but one of the reasons why you need an attorney is because all of these facts matter, right? And respectfully, and I don't mean this to be rude, but you know, a lot of times the way that a person communicates in everyday conversation is not the same way that you need to communicate or include information for the legal power behind it. So that's why having an attorney is important, right? Because I picked up on while we were engaged, right? So that totally changed the facts and the law that would be used.
Hmm.
In this case, you have an agreement from 2019, which also was a long time ago. What the hell? Why are you not taking action?
Yeah.
And you know, if you're like, but attorneys are expensive, so is your child support. You paid $40,000. Like, come on, you know, you're penny wise and pound foolish. So I said that today in our meeting, reviewing some of our cases. So sometimes that happens where you're like, I don't want to pay an attorney to do it. Well, then you have like more of a financial, it's harder later. So, you know, you not paying an attorney to make sure you fix this in 2012 costs you $40,000. You could have paid an attorney at worst, you know, 10,000, right? That would have been probably for a modification.
So if you were to have like all the facts about the case and all disclosure, would there be possibilities of the individual receiving payback for dues that had not had to be due?
There is a possibility somewhere where that could happen.
Okay.
But is it likely? No.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Right. There's a chance. You have a good faith argument. Do I think a judge is going to be like, you know what we should do? We should order mom to pay. But maybe, you know, there is some equitable arguments that you could make.
Okay. So 407-900-7451.
Get a lawyer. Do it right away. God.
Okay, Napoleon. Next one coming up. I'm in Florida. Can a step parent / significant other be involved in medical appointments without the parent guardian's consent?
Yep. Well, they don't need both parents. They'll need one parent's consent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you know, hey, Joe. That's why, yes, like a parent can bring the child to an appointment. My mom brought my son to plenty of appointments.
Okay.
And before we were married, and you could have a babysitter bring a child to appointments. Why are you getting petty? You got to get petty. Is this what's happening? That's what's happening. That's, you know, are they harming the child? Are they making decisions like there could or should be? I don't know. Are they making bad decisions? You need more. I need more. Other than I just don't want the stepdad bringing my child to the doctor's appointment. It should be me. Then you should have scheduled it on your time.
So I have a question that's coming in from our Instagram. All right. And let me just put that up. Not the question
But it's
itself.
different if they're making major medical decisions. Yes, Joey, that's exactly right. If they're, yes, like if you should have surgery, right? Child has leg cancer. Do we make the decision to remove the leg or do we make the decision to do chemotherapy? That is a decision that the parents should make. But if they're taking them to, you know, go get the sports physical so they can play soccer. Yeah, no, I didn't. I knew you knew, but I have someone is commenting on my live. Joey, I knew you knew. I knew you knew. We called you Joe when you were here. But I knew you knew because you listened to me, right? He listened to me, so he had a good result in his case. By the way, he got all the things that he wanted, and he has a very good relationship with his child.
Nice. I do have the
Anyway,
error.
thank you.
So we have a question coming in from the Instagram, and I'm going to read this from it. I am recently divorced, and I have custody of my son from my ex-wife,
Mhm.
and she has our 2 girls, and I am on child support for the 2 girls that she has, but I've had them the whole summer,
Right.
and not even sure if they're going back to the mother anytime soon because she doesn't have a residence for them to live at. And I received a letter from child support saying that I am behind on payments, even though I have the kids with me. What should I do?
So first of all, let me lead with you need to take court action, right? If the mom is not being cooperative, you need to file a petition for modification. If you think that the children are going to stay with you, or if you think that they emergently, for some reason, or urgently, right? Because this isn't an emergency, that's immediate loss of life or limb, need some action, right? So I think in that case, you need to file your petition for modification so that your filing date is what you need it to be, because that can have an effect, especially for modifications. It can also stop you from being held in contempt for non-payment of child support. And I don't love this idea of a parent going, well, the child's with me, so I shouldn't be paying child support. So while child support is ordered for the benefit of the child, right? It's supporting the child. The court doesn't know that until you have told them and there's a court order following. So if you think you're just going to file a motion and you tell the court something, forget that that's a thing. That's not a thing. You don't just tell the court, I can see your phone.
I know. And I was making a Snapchat of everything that we do because I live on social media.
So, what's going to happen there? If you just file a motion to tell the court's not going to review it. They don't care. You need to set a hearing and get a court order that supports whatever position there is. But as it stands right now, because you have a court order to pay, you can be held in contempt and it doesn't matter that you've had the kids. Now, you may have a sympathetic judge who goes, oh, well, you shouldn't have had to pay. But the real analysis in holding you for contempt is there a court order? Is it a clear court order that you knew existed? Right? So you obviously knew it existed because you'd been paying in the past. It's obviously clear because you knew how much it was, right? And you'd been complying with it. And it exists and it hadn't been changed. So in that case, you can be held in contempt. Now, filing your petition for modification and requesting that it change, if you make sure that you tell this to the judge, I need my petition for modification to be heard before you can hold me in contempt, that is something that you should put before the court. But you do have to take some type of legal action. You can't just change court orders, unless all the parties agree and you have a signed agreement, then supported by a court order. So in that case, you either need your ex to agree, even if it's just a temporary, so you can get a court order on it, or you need to go to court and it needs to be some type of adverse proceeding. And the court's going to need to make some findings, court orders, and make sure they sign that into order and it reduces or eliminates your child support, depending on what the time sharing is going to be changed to. It also is going to matter how this is going to take effect for your children going to school. If you have a court order in your parenting plan for your children going to school, that has some play into it as well. So anyway.
Wow. So many facts just off of that one question.
I know. I got this question and I saw it and I was like, I have a lot to say about this. I don't want to type it. But, there are also a lot of facts and factors that could come up that I would have liked to ask about. How far away do you live? What's the nature of mom having a place to live? Is it just because she's like in between apartments? Or is it because she's like on the streets, right?
Yeah.
Is there more to this story that really needs action to be taken? And you are going to need to make sure that you use the proper legal basis to get a modification. You have to have a substantial and unanticipated change in circumstances.
Okay.
Write that down. Substantial and unanticipated. Yeah, it's a lot. So, you got some work to do, my friend, but it's accomplishable. And what you're looking to do could happen. And once you establish this change in circumstance, it becomes the new court order. Mm-hmm. If you achieve that, and then in order for right, the new order, and in order for her to flip custody time sharing back to you, she's going to have to meet the same standard, a substantial and unanticipated change in circumstances.
Okay. Damn, all that for that one question. I wish you the best, but dude, get yourself a freaking attorney.
Yeah, you need an attorney. So I really was like, if she's on the streets, you'll probably have a really good likelihood of success in winning the time sharing and having your child support order not only reduced, eliminated, but getting a child support order against her, because you are charged under the law with providing and making sure that you provide support for your children. So she'd be imputed at either minimum wage, that would be, the minimum that she'd be imputed at, right? Hence minimum wage. You see what I did there?
Yes.
Or with a little bit more skill and proper pleadings, you could impute her at her, like the median income for her locale, or the income from her education pursuant to the U.S. Census Bureau. So potentially there would be a court order for you to receive child support.
Oh.
That could go toward your arrears if you have them. You see how this works? We could totally flip this around. Flip this around.
All right, let's go back to the questions here online. My parents were never married, but my father was deported 18 years ago. Is there any way I could put him on my birth certificate? I want to establish paternity to help him with citizenship.
I don't know if I can answer the citizenship question, not my area of law.
Okay.
But my recommendation would be to do an adult adoption.
Oh, okay.
Or establish paternity by consent. We can file that. That one's pretty easy. But you should establish paternity for a lot of other reasons as well.
Okay. All right. So hopefully that question helps you out. I actually know the individual who sent that in, and I hope that that one right there.
Yeah, they can establish paternity. I'll tell you where the forms are.
Okay.
It's really
simple. Well, not simple, but not as complex as one would think.
Good news. We just had a client. So we just had a client drop off some gourmet cookies for us.
No.
I love when clients bring us gifts.
I am giving my daughter $150,000 for a down payment for her and her husband's house. However, if they ever split up, I want my daughter to have all $150K, and this money is not split in half in a divorce.
Make sure you classify it as an inheritance, but you're commingling it into the marital home. The home should be in just your daughter's name. You should have a money paper trail on it being an inheritance, or she should have a prenup. You could demand that you won't give the $150,000 without a prenup for at least just this item. So those are the ways in which you would protect that.
There you go.
And if the home is just in her name, don't let her commingle it. Thank you.
Next one coming up, we are down to our last three. Can I force my wife to remove her belongings from my home? She tells me I can't box her stuff up or move it to a storage area in the basement because we are still married.
I don't see why you can't box it up.
Okay.
What? Your wife cleaned the house and put your stuff in the drawers while you guys were together. There's no law on putting things in boxes. Right? There's no law on being able to put items and belongings in your own home into boxes.
So she couldn't be like, oh, you're destroying my property. You're moving my property.
Right.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, if you destroy it and you light it on fire and send him pictures of you lighting it on fire, you know who I'm talking about. You know who you are. Anyway, she didn't get in trouble with that. Don't worry, we got her out of that.
What's going to happen if it goes in a box?
Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be perfectly fine. Put it in the box. You didn't need to ask her for permission.
Okay.
All
right. We got two more, and then I got a quick Erin Reacts for you. I co-signed for my grandson and his wife to buy a house.
You fucked up.
Now they are separating. He's in jail and she may be moving away. What are my options concerning the property? I feel like it should be playing the Benny Hill.
I hope that you are on the deed and not just the mortgage. But this is a property question and not a divorce question. So you could file a case in a civil case with a real estate attorney. That's a real property question. That's how I would handle that.
Okay.
Force the sale, get your money back.
And call us. We could refer you to a good attorney who can help you out.
I do. I have a good friend who does this.
In the meantime, if you have a chance to go to morse-firm.com/podcast, check out our previous episodes, like and follow us on all the social medias. And we are less than a week away from the voting of Orlando Weekly Best of finishing up. I mean, this is the
best of Orlando Weekly, best of everything, basically. I'm in all the categories that I possibly could be. I actually don't think I qualify for any other categories.
Any other categories?
I don't think so.
You could be best Cuban sandwich. Final question of the day. My brother married for money in 2010. He is a citizen and she is Colombian. She is a citizen because of this marriage, but
my brother married for money.
But it has caused problems for him. What can be done? Doesn't sound like real.
I don't know what your problems are.
Yeah.
So if someone asks me a question, they're like, I have this. So this question is basically like, I am married and I have problems. What can I do? Get divorced.
If you haven't grown
don't do it.
I have to. I was already there. If you're having girl problems, feel bad for you, son.
No.
I got 99 problems, but she started all of them.
Get a divorce. I'm having problems in my marriage. What do I do? Yeah, I guess a best human sandwich.
No, I said Cuban. I said Cuban, Benny. I mean, Jenny Benny, sorry.
Benjamin. Yeah, you could go to counseling. You could demand better from your spouse. You could cry. You could be sad. You could make good sandwiches. You could make bad sandwiches. You could do many things in your problems. I don't know what your problems are, so I can't help you solve them. But have a great weekend.
There you go. All right, so we are wrapping up the questions. I do have a story for you, but let me just remove that real quick.
Erin Reacts.
And get this. I need an assistant when it comes to this stuff sometimes. Okay, so
finish those pages. Inside joke.
All right. So jury awards parents of Sandy Hook shooting victim $4.1 million defamation suit case against Alex Jones. Have you been watching?
No, I wish I did.
This has been a wild case. So for those who don't know, Alex Jones is
who is he?
People label him as a conspiracy theorist. He has this show called InfoWars where he gives like the deep-rooted conspiracy theories behind everything that goes on in Washington, that goes on all around the world. Like he has a story or he has a fact for everything that's going on in this country. Whether he
thinks he knows better than everyone else.
He thinks he knows everything beyond everything. And at one point he stated that the whole Sandy Hook shooting was a fake. It never happened.
That people did not actually die?
Exactly. That it was a...
Why did he say this?
It was a cover-up by the media for some...
What was his defense?
I can't go in.
Look at his attorney. You can't what?
I can't go into because it was so insane of what he was... Like, I'm going to go into the story.
Look at his attorney. If that was your attorney, what would you think?
I feel like that looks like
going to jail.
22 ferrets wearing a suit.
Did you ever see... What was that show with the creator of Big Mouth? The one about
Nick Kroll.
The football.
Oh, The League.
The League.
The League, yeah.
He looks like that actor from The League, like a Wish version of that actor.
I love how that's become like you're saying now, a wish version of this, a wish version of that.
Whatever.
But I was pulling up the article right here, and let's see. Oh yeah, so Alex Jones to pay 4.1 million to the parents of the Sandy Hook shooting victim who sued him for defamation after he repeatedly claimed that the school shooting was a hoax. The jury's
Why
verdict,
would he even say that?
the jury's verdict delivers far less than that, but there's still an opportunity to award more money. Thursday's verdict was to determine
Compensatory.
compensatory damages for the family.
That is too small on my screen for me to read, but
You already knew what I was talking about.
I know what. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Compensate is to compensate you for.
So here we go. Hold on. I envision Erin as a sandwich. And that was way more fun than a Cuban sandwich.
It's like me between two pieces of bread.
Oh my God, did you hear about the release of the entire phone? So, and then let's see what he says. She says he's
I actually saw the only little bit I saw of it was the alleged inadvertent release of the whole phone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I need to go back and watch this trial?
I think you might need to.
It looks so good. It looks so wild.
His defense dropped.
They took it all the way to trial.
His defense dropped the ball big time because they basically gave crucial evidence to opposing.
But did they not retract it?
No. They just get
Because if you say it was inadvertent, they actually can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that happens, right? And it's just the reality of the world. And we have a lot of rules very well built to protect that inadvertent disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the reality of the complexity of voluminous evidence, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Sandy Hook's lawyers say Alex Jones's attorneys accidentally gave them his phone contents. And I'm pulling up the article from the Washington Post.
But for defamation, it needed to be public. So what does his personal cell phone matter? Really, that much? Or should it? In what ways? I need to watch this trial.
So we'll go
back. What was his defense? Did you hear at all? Does it say in the article?
I am going back.
Someone tell me what his defense was. Summarize it.
In regards to what he said for the whole Sandy Hook?
Why does he say it was a hoax? Why did he feel as though he was entitled to even say that?
I'm pulling that up.
Why did he feel knowledgeable enough to say, I know this was a hoax?
Well, let's go back to, have you ever actually listened to Alex Jones?
No, I don't listen to garbage like that.
Okay, I used to listen to him for
fancy.
I used to listen to him for fun.
Just kidding.
I used to listen to him for fun.
Like to laugh. Like
yeah, to laugh. I would listen to him in the morning just to rile me up because, like, he just get on the microphone and just talk like that. That's how he would get on it. And one of the famous memes from him is like, I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay. That was.
He really thinks frogs are gay?
No, that the government was putting chemicals in the water.
No, I want to know how he concluded that frogs are gay, right? This is how a lawyer thinks. I'm like, how do you get to that conclusion? I'm not really worried about like the idea that the government, I don't, we all know that the government has put chemicals in the water. Yeah. They've admitted it. There's been settlements on it, right?
But
Flint, Michigan.
According to Alex Jones and his sources, there were.
But how does it go from like chemicals in the water, which is known, that happens, right? Yeah. There's even Netflix documentaries. It is known. This is not salacious, not shocking. They all fucked up, especially at the turn of the century. All of the factories were pumping into the water. They just didn't get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So. All right, I can accept the chemicals in the water. I don't know. I'm blaming the government. Maybe it's private business. Maybe it's both. Gay frogs.
That's what he came. That's what he came up with. Well, no, it was. I think that the government was experimenting with chemicals that would alter a person's sexuality.
How did he conclude frogs are gay? That is the conclusion I cannot get to with logic or science. He is obviously at his podcasting not a scientist.
No, not at all.
So how does he get to conclude what authority creates homosexual frogs? And
I'm gonna play it for you.
Tested gay bomb on Iraq. They didn't consider using it. They've used it on our troops. In Vietnam, they sprayed PCP on the troops, Jacob's Ladder. You think PCP, some horse tranquilizer or something? They got stuff that'll whack your brain permanently.
It's getting there.
Brain chips in the troops. They give the troops special vaccines that are really nanotech that already re-engineer their brains. Now there it is, the gay bomb.
Yeah, and his source
Look
Wikipedia.
it up for yourself. I mean,
The
this is
gay
what they're-
balm?
What do you think
Bomb.
tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby.
Yeah, that's Alex
I'm not
Jones for
saying
you.
People didn't naturally have homosexual feelings. I'm not even getting into it. Quite frankly, I mean, give me a break. You think I'm like those shocked by it, so I'm up here bashing it because I
Here
don't like
comes.
gay people. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Yeah.
You understand?
Does anyone take him serious?
A lot of people. He has a
Like he seems like he's his own joke.
yeah, and his character got brought up during his divorce a few years ago.
I would bring up his character. That man's not what?
I love your
But
reaction. That this is honestly the best.
Typically that kind of crazy internet people kind of garbage is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately am like that. Nope. I don't consume that.
Yeah,
Because what the hell?
but
I can't. How does he get there mentally? How does he those? The problem is that those are, and I've done this before, and I've won hearings with this idea, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people, if you don't know it, are not very good at communicating. Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm okay at it. So that in particular is an example of someone who is not good at communicating because his statements are conclusory, right? That's what that is, right? So that's just like, it's fucking raining. Therefore, I'm not going to work tomorrow. Like, how do you get there, right?
And there are people
like you're missing a lot of steps.
There are people out there that have that line of thought.
But the problem is that those two things, they're just not like, how do you connect them? You have to connect, like, whatever.
He's the kid who was putting the triangle block into the circle
right.
hole.
And just because it could go through didn't mean it was the right hole.
Correct. Should I end the broadcast there?
That's it.
Final thoughts. Hold on.
That was it. That was the final thought.
All
I
right.
have no more thoughts.